The all-new 2017 Audi Q7 marks the second generation of this full-sized all-wheel drive crossover, a derivative of the trend-setting Volvo XC90 for its tall sportwagon design. With its sophisticated suspension, lighter weight, and lowered center of gravity, the 2017 Q7 is exceptional for being a nimble 7-seater. It's shorter by 1.5 inches and narrower by 0.6 inches, yet there's more room in the cabin. A breathtaking 500 pounds was cut from the previous Q7 by using ultra-high-strength steel in the chassis, and aluminum for the front fenders, doors, hood, and liftgate. The engine is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with Tiptronic manual control. There's a driving dynamic system that now works with the optional adaptive air suspension for up to 7 drive programs, including off-road. The EPA rates the Q7 at 19.25 miles per gallon city, highway, or 21 miles per gallon combined. In more than 600 miles of driving, we averaged 19.9 miles per gallon, at mostly high speeds out in the wide-open prairies of eastern Oregon and Washington. The Q7 is superbly smooth at speed. It has some active safety features that at times seem a bit too active. Interior. The cabin is called a virtual cockpit by Audi, and it feels a bit like one, with its controls at the driver's fingertips and a detailed center console. The dashboard is wide and the controls are low. A high-res screen atop the dash pops up when the car is turned on. The multimedia interface, MMI, touchpad and controller use haptic feedback, which may be problematic for some to use. The virtual cockpit display and MMI infotainment system use powerful T30 NVIDIA graphics processors. It's sumptuous inside, warm and curvaceous, with ample headroom, thanks in part to a lower floor enabled by a new rear suspension, and thinner padding in the seats. It's super quiet inside, thanks to generous application of acoustic insulation. The materials are mostly leather and metal or plastic that looks like metal. The overall build is tight and rattle-free. There's excellent legroom in the second row, with reclining seat backs. It also folds flat. The third row is only big enough for children, but it raises and lowers with the touch of a power button in back, making a vast cargo area. With both rows raised, there's still 14.8 cubic feet in back, as much as a sedan's trunk. Driving impression. Q7's supercharged V6 engine accelerates with authority, quick, smooth and silent. You can't feel the transmission shift up through its 8 speeds. It's possible to find yourself going 90 miles per hour before you know it, and when you look down you can't believe it. 90 feels like 70. It's that smooth. There are 5 modes to Audi Drive Select, including Comfort and Dynamic, which sharpens the throttle, transmission, steering, and suspension. There's also Individual, to set those 4 things yourself, and Auto, which sets them at an optimum for overall performance, with sensors determining what's optimum based on road conditions and the level of aggressiveness of your driving. However, we found the active lane assist invasive, especially on 2-lane highways. In its most aggressive settings, it constantly tugs at the steering wheel, to keep you perfectly dead center in your lane. When unaware that it's on, it can feel like something is wrong with the car, and it can be beyond annoying. You can turn it off with a tiny button at the end of the turn signal stalk, but the default mode is on, so you must turn it off every time you start the car.